Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Ash, and in this session, it's going to be all about the divisional charts or the Varga Kundlis. In caste system, the divisional charts are created based on the theory of the Mool Karak or the root Karak. Different divisional charts are studied or focused based on the age and stage of life of the native, and all these charts are given together for ease of use. Now, for the first house, we will study the Rashi chart of the D1, the Navamsha, D9, D3 is the Trishkon, D27 chart, and the Trishansh or D30. For the second house, we study D1 and D9. In addition to that, we study D2, which is the Hora chart, the D4, D16, and the D40 chart. For fifth house matters, we study D1, D9, and D7 chart, which is the Saptansh. For sixth house, we are studying the division D1, D9, and in addition to that, we study D20. Seventh house, we study D1, D9, and in addition, we study D45. For eighth house, we study D1, D9, and D10. For 10th house, we study D1, D9, D12, D24, and D60. And for all rest of the house, we study D1 and D9 only. Now, these charts are called the divisional charts, and they have a very, very specific focus in which we are going to study the happiness of a house or the happiness that one experiences, and that is why they are based on the mool or the root karak, or we find out the strength in its root or from its root, how strong the roots are and how well grounded that happiness of the house is. So with that, let's dive into our program and see how to study these charts and where they are located and the navigation. Here is our dashboard, the summary dashboard, and you can see the Navamsha chart or the Navamsha divisional chart, which is there by default, and this is where the basic power of this divisional chart is for all the 7 planets and the power for all the 12 houses. Now, there is a difference in computation between the net power, which is here, the basic power of Rashi, and the same way as we compute the basic power of Rashi, we are going to compute the basic power of all the divisional charts. What we are doing in essence is finding out the net summarized power for a planet for a house in the respective divisional charts. Now, if you want to change the chart, this is where you'll click, and let's say you want to study the D24 chart for profession. This is the chart. You can see the D24 chart, and the corresponding strength of the D24 chart is visible. The summarized view of the D24 chart is now visible here, and you can study the D1, D24, the basic power of the Rashi, the respective divisional chart, and of course net power. So with this, you can get again from the dashboard, you get a summarized view, which is a 360-degree view. Now, in case you want to now start to delve into detail to figure out why is Mars having 8 points, or why does Mars have 8 points in the second house. So I am going to click and navigate into the divisional charts, and this is where I start to go into the details. I drill down into it. So as we all know, as we studied in the previous session on the SAV and BAV, the Sarvashtak Varga chart for the divisional chart is computed here. So you can see D24 chart and the SAV, and this chart is computed based on the placement of the planets in the divisional chart of D24. Now, this is again the basis to create the summarized view of SAV, basic power of the planet, which takes into consideration the A, B, and C divisional house totals. So this is the chart that is displayed here, and so then we come down further into this. There's a lot of information in this divisional chart page here. Now here I can see all the divisional charts. So basically now we start to get into the nadis, right? So for that we need to start to see all the divisional charts and get into the details of the divisional charts. So here you can see I have listed all the 16 divisional charts here, and there is a color coding. So these, at a glance, this chart shows me the position of Sun in all the 16 divisional charts. The color coding will represent the placement. So if you just hover over the color map here, you will see a pop-up which shows you the color coding. So here blue indicates when a planet is in 6th house from own house, and as we have seen in the first session, 6th house means very powerful. When a planet goes in 6th house, which is the primary Upchastan, it becomes very powerful. The status increases tremendously. Then green shows when the planet is in the other three Upchastan, that is in 3rd, 10th and 11th house, sign from its own sign, and red is when it goes into 12th or 8th sign from its own sign. So at a glance I can see here what's going on. I can see at a glance that 1, 2, 3, 4 in D1, D9, D3, D30, D20, 24, 40, 45 and 60. Sun is well placed. It's in the house of growth. It's only in the 4 in D4, D10 and D16 it is not well placed, and D2 it's not well placed. So in Mars is in 6th house from own house in 5, 6 different houses, charts, divisional charts. D30, D4, D7, D12, D16 and D27. So Mars has become quite powerful in these houses. Now the placement of the sign here shows us that this is in the 4th house and it's the sign of Libra. Now Libra is in red because it is an instabilitated sign. Mars in Capricorn is in exaltation sign. So exaltation sign is blue, red is the debilitation sign. The black color shows that it's gone into the 6th house in that divisional chart. And green shows us the moon trikona sign of the planet. So moon is in Cancer, which is the moon trikona as well as the exaltation sign. So but the color coding chooses just one, so by default, so it just chose green over blue. Then I'm sorry, moon's Cancer is his own sign. Own sign is in green and blue is the exaltation sign. So this is at a glance I can see here a whole perspective of how these planets are placed in all the 16 divisional charts. Now coming down further, there are some areas here that is calculations. It's quite detailed here, and it calls for a whole different session on it. But for now, I mean, here you can see the categorization of the divisional charts. So you can see they are categorized in 4 different categories as given in the standard text. So the shad work is when you shad means six. The main six divisions are categorized as D1, D9, D3, D30, which is the Shauncha, Hora, and yeah, the Shaunch or D12 chart. These charts are in the applicable in the brahmachari ashram, or the first phase of life, till a person is living at home or studying in a gurukul, or in today's day and age is studying in a school. Then once he finishes school and he's ready to enter into the marriage, we say it is Saptvarg, or the seventh divisional chart. We add D7 because this chart talks about children. So the native enters Grihasthashram. Then we add das work. So once he is into the Grihasthashram, he starts his career, starts to work. These four charts, three other charts are added. So in total, it becomes das work. 6 plus these 4 is 10, 10 divisional charts. So we add D4, which is fixed assets, then the vehicles and happiness from the vehicles, and D4 is D24 is the profession. So this is applicable up to the age of retirement age, or till the time one retires. So this could be 58 for India or 60 in North America. So once he finishes his Grihasthashram duties, he enters Vanprastha ashram, where the remaining shad work charts are added. The remaining charts are added. 6 charts are added. These charts are Dashansh, which is D10, D20, D27, 40, D40, D45, and D60. Charts are added, and this takes us till time when person dies or enters Vanprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. Sorry, I mean. So here is a little cheat sheet of what it means. These are the levels when the charts are applicable at a glance. So I will quickly rehash. Shad work is D1, D2, D3 talks about parakram and progress, sports as per the age. D12 is happiness from father, Pitru Sukh. D30, and we talk about the intelligence as we have seen. D3, D9, and D30 are there, which is we talk about the nature of the person. Then we're talking about children is the Grihasthashram. Taskwork is the remaining is the Grihasthashram, where you have fixed assets, vehicles, and professions are added as a person works. And then Vanprasthashram and Sannyas ashram is when 8th house matters, or death or research. Health is D20. Bhanj means to shine. Bha is Bhanj. The name of the chart is Bhanj. So that's the name in society. D40 is goodwill or heavenly knowledge. It's called D45 is Dincharya, Sadhana or Upasana, and D60 is all Sukh Dukh in life, means is the head or elder's permission, and it is the sum total of the full life or past life, which is from the age of birth till D45. So this is called all Sukh Dukh in life for the full life. So there is a lot here. Then we have a whole section here of nadis and bhav chalit. So Kas bhav chalit is different from any of the other bhav chalit that exist today. You will find something very unique and peculiar about the bhav chalit chart. If you notice, the bhav chalit of second house is 24 Leo 32, and that of the opposite house, which is the 8th house, is 23 Aquarius. So the starting degrees of second house and 8th house is not the same. Similarly, for 11th house and 5th house is not the same. Only for the 1st and the 7th house, 4th and 10th is same. 3rd and 9th are also not the same. So this is uneven, and that's just what this is the bhav chalit. All the other bhav chalits I have seen have the opposite degrees starting at the same. So this bhav chalit has come along with the Krishna's Ashtakvarga system, and it's a part and parcel of a system along with the Kayanamsha. So just as we study everything from Lagna, Sun and Moon, in the same way we will study the Bhav Chalit from the Lagna, Sun and Moon. And here are the divisional charts. And this whole section deals with a lot of calculations, delving deep into the calculations for the Bhav Chalit and the Nadis. Again, then these are all advanced topics and they need a lot of attention and understanding of basic concepts, which is beyond the scope of this lesson. So this is the divisional chart page where we get into the details. Then for the ease of prediction, I have created an all divisional chart page, and the way to navigate is you can go into the all divisional chart when you click on this worksheet. This categorizes the charts so that you can see everything at a glance. So if one is studying the first house, so here, I will have to go back to northern chart, make this a D9 chart here, and then come back into the divisional charts. And this is where, if I am studying the first house of the native, these are all the charts that I have to study. So for the first house, it's D9, D3, Trishamsha, and the Bhanj chart. So this is where I will check the Karkansha, the Mool Karkansha, so on and so forth. Similarly, for the second house, I check D1, D9, D2, which is Hora, D4, D16, and D40. For children, it is D1, D9, and D7, which is the Saptansh. This is for sixth house details, could be held. It's D1, D9, and D20. For seventh house matters, it is the Rashi, the Navamsha, and the Akshavidansh chart, D45. And for eighth house matters such as research, deep research, death, it's D1, D9, and D10, which is from Mahat Phalam. And finally, the category for the 10th house is D1, D9, D12. The Sukh for parents, this is the own profession, D24, and D60 is the culmination of all the karmas of your life. So these are all at different levels. And for all the remaining charts, we only see D1 and D9. So this is all about the divisional charts. It's quite a detailed topic, and this is how we navigate, and this is all there is in our program. Thank you for watching and listening. I know it's a lot to digest. So till next time, I hope you have enjoyed this. Until next time, be safe. Thanks.